mucha risa. También te da mucha risa. ¿De qué te estás riendo, Togepi? ¡Maldito!
Hey, Jay, throw up the phone. I think we have someone on air. Start the program.
Hi.
Is that you, Amber Mack?
It's me.
We're live on air. We're boom, like right away.
Magic.
So PokéMoN Go, whatever it is. I saw a funny tweet the other day. Someone's like, Clinton's running for president and Pokemon's back. What is this, 1991? So like, what is going? I don't know anything about it, and all I've seen is this world go completely crazy about it. I'm going to leave it up to you to talk about it, and then Jay Brody, you will hear chime in because Jay's actually played it too. He hacked it or something. Amber, please just explain to the listeners who have jobs that don't know what this means.
Yeah, for sure. No, you're exactly right. I mean, there is a craze right now with PokéMoN Go. It's an app that launched last week, so it's a mobile game, and it's based on augmented reality. Augmented reality is not virtual reality. Virtual reality is going into this immersive world where you don't see the real world that you live in. Augmented reality is like a blend of both of those worlds. So you're seeing the world around you. Imagine you're walking out to the park, Todd. You have your phone. You're playing this game. You can see all the trees, the play structure, but then all of a sudden a Pokemon character jumps out from behind a bush, and that's an animated-like character, and you go and you catch these critters, you train these critters, they can battle each other, and there's many different levels to the game, but it's a very immersive type of game. Again, the technology is called augmented reality.
So you'll be following your phone, and the only thing I can compare it to is my augmented reality when I'd like hold up the phone of the stars, that stargazing one, and it would show me like what the what the formulations and all that stuff were. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. That there's a few of them in that space, but it's the same type of idea. So basically you use the camera on your phone to see the real world, but then there's this layer on top of it that someone has built within the app. And in this case, that layer is Pokemon and the different characters, and there's Pokestops, and there's all these different things built into the game. So it's like a virtual treasure hunt.
So there are people then looking at their phones, and they see the characters through their phones, and like, are they grabbing things in midair at that point? Like, I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So to be able to catch some of the characters, you need this little ball that you essentially throw at the characters to catch the Pokemon. And you play the game, but there are many different components, right? So you have that. You have Pokestops where you can go to a gym, for example, and train your characters. And the list of things goes on forever.
So do you go to the gym and put on like clothes with that? Like, can you bring them in the men or women's change room? How do we know? How does that work?
How did you get to that point so quickly, Todd? That's like no, I don't think you can really.
Because I'm a perv. That's why Amber Mack.
I don't know about going into the change room. I'm going to pass on that question if I have an option, because I really don't think that's something you would necessarily do. Keep in mind, though, this game is not something that you necessarily just play alone, right? There are people who are meeting up in parks and at landmarks all around the world, and they're playing together, and they're helping people kind of level up within the game. And I think it's a very exciting time, and it just shows the power of a game like this.
So the hazards, though, that I've been reading about are, A, people now know where you are because it's kind of like a Foursquare thing. So, all your privacy's gone. Apparently, they could have hacked in at one point to all your Google Mail. I don't know if they're changing all of that. People are playing it while driving and looking for things, which is obviously taking people's eyes off the road. I would imagine that's not, I don't know. I don't know if you want a flying Pokemon character flying through your windshield, because at that point it's not really real, but a person is. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of hazards, aren't there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tackle those one on one, okay? So first up, if you're playing PokéMoN Go when you're driving, you're an idiot and you shouldn't do that. The second one that I will tackle...
Amber, I have to interrupt. And this is Todd Shapiro speaking. My words would be that if you're over 16, meaning you qualify for a license, and you're playing Pokemon, you're an idiot. That's just me. That's just me. Like anyone who actually drives separately from playing Pokemon, if you're old enough to drive, my opinion is you shouldn't be playing Pokemon Go. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, no problem. That's your opinion. And so definitely don't drive and play PokéMoN Go. I would also say, as far as some of the dangers, I mean, you can imagine people are already glued to their phones 24/7, and now they're walking around cities and they're looking at their phones for these characters. So you can easily bump into a tree, walk into traffic. There are so many horror stories like that. And the list of issues goes on and on. But it's like any technology, Todd. I mean, there are always issues. There are always privacy issues. In fact, just literally minutes ago, the Pokemon Go creators have updated the Android app to fix that issue that you talked about with Google and getting your information. So they've made a fix there that should improve that for privacy's sake.
Okay, Jay Brody, you're a PokéMoN Go player. I didn't think it was available in Canada, but Jay Brody's a shady dude, and he's the first to admit that. You found a way to hack the system?
That's right. It's very easy to acquire PokéMoN Go if you're Canadian and you are, as Todd says, very shady. It's not a hard install on your device. Listen, I'm a guy I haven't paid for Windows in 10 years. And I don't mean the computer program. I mean actual Windows. Okay. I haven't paid for any of them.
So, now, Jay, describe to Amber what you were doing last night with this game.
Yeah, listen, I downloaded myself and a lady friend of mine downloaded PokéMoN Go on our phones, and we went out and went for a nice walk and checked out like different Pokestops and found some Pokemon, and then we got in my car. I drove. She had the devices. We hunted for some Pokemon. Went to a Poke Gym. It was a good time. I had a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are having a good time. And, I guess the good side of this is that typically gaming has been something where people do it with consoles and they're in their home and they're not getting a lot of physical activity. What we're seeing in cities is like people are coming out of the woodwork and literally coming to parks and landmarks and places to meet up and to interact and game. So I think it's actually, that part of it's pretty cool.
I concur there, Amber. I know that the president's wife, Michelle Obama, she's been working with children, encouraging activity and outdoor exercise and stuff for 7 and almost 8 years now. PokéMoN did it in a week.
Yeah.
That's all she needed. She needed the Michelle Obama PokéMoN Go app, and she would have changed everything.
Right. Now, is this the first of its kind where there have been other apps like this, but they just haven't caught on?
Yeah, there have been other augmented reality apps in the gaming space for quite a few years, but I feel like this year, there's that perfect storm where the technology is ready, people are excited, there's the nostalgia around the Pokemon series, and so it's just all of those things coming together now to put this game out there. I think people just really latched onto it. So the timing is perfect, but the technology has existed for a while.
Have you played it?
I have not played it because I am on an Android device, and it's a little bit different than an iPhone as far as getting Pokemon. You have to actually install separate software. You can't just kind of hack your country in the iTunes store. So I've avoided that because I want to avoid any type of malware or infections on my phone. So I'm going to wait till it comes out. You know what? People are really anxious, but I guarantee you it'll be out in the next few days in Canada.
And like when you're in Canada now, is that the goal? Will you play it once it's fully available and stuff?
Yeah, I'll play it for research purposes, Todd. You know me, I got to try it all.
Huh. And I mean, is there an age, like a restriction on this? Does it have to start at a certain age? Because, I would imagine, I would fear, and you did and you still do with your book and your conferences and your speeches, how to protect your children online and stuff and how to outsmart them. In this case, I would fear that, an 8 or 9-year-old who could download this, is very maneuverable, would go out and look for these things in parks. That would be freaky to me.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a concern. So the advice I could give to parents right now is that if your kid is playing this and they're going outside the home, which they will want to do, you should go with them and turn it into a family activity, because this is a situation where, kids will get so excited about the game. You just never know where they're going to end up. And there's also an option in the game where other players can kind of lure in critters in the game. And there's been examples, although they're very rare, of how, for example, criminals have done this in Missouri. They lured people who were playing the game and then they robbed them. So, things can go wrong.
Wow, criminals act very fast, Jay Brody. Isn't that true?
It's disgusting. Yeah, and to be honest with you, once you start playing the game, you could see how it can be easily used for robbery specifically, because there's certain points in the community that people will physically congregate at. And
sorry to interrupt there, Amber and Jay. One of the things, and I'm just trying to expedite this because I know, Amber, you're doing probably like 30 other media things. But I heard that they're actually using physical kind of churches and gyms or whatever as places, and that in some of the circumstances, they've actually used addresses where people reside. And is that like some crazy invasion of privacy now for those people that they're telling people to congregate at?
Yeah, that's an issue. There's one story of a home that people have turned into a Pokestop, and it was obviously just a mistake. So there could be issues where people congregate at your home and want in. If you've ever watched there's a great series out there called The Leftovers, where all those people in white stand outside your house. That's what it reminds me of a little bit.
I can't take this seriously. Is this something that we should be very proud of with technology, making people get outside to play games? Or is this something that ultimately we should be totally freaked out by?
You know what? I live in both camps, and I'm excited about it. I think it's a little bit freakish in many ways. However, I think it's one of those phenomenons that's not going to stop anytime soon, and we're going to see this all summer long, if not longer.
So, like, whether it's Marvel Comics or whatever, Marvel Comics getting to go meet superheroes one day or something. Like, this is going to be the new way people play games.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it reminds me a little bit, if you think about augmented reality, like I said, it's been out for a while, but it's similar to podcasts. I did my first podcast maybe a decade ago, but all of a sudden podcasts are all the rage, right? So there just becomes this point where there's mainstream adoption with technology, and that's what we're seeing right now. So, yes, this is just the beginning.
Hey, if you want to meet Jay Brody in the park to capture him, he's available soon. We'll tell you what park to get him.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. And I'm typically, especially at this point in my life, much more positive than I've ever been. I try to see both ends of the spectrum here. I cannot see the benefits of this. I find it so peculiar. And I think the thing that to me is the strangest really is I can't believe people have this kind of time. Like I really can't imagine having this amount of time to do it.
Yeah, but you're also a new dad, so there's that factor, right? You're very busy. You're probably a little bit sleep deprived. I mean, those things come into play. So I agree with you. I mean, I feel that way about gaming in general. I'm not a big gamer, so I just don't have time. But hey, a lot of people do that. They also watch Netflix every single night. I don't really get it. I don't know where they find the time, but I'm sort of jealous, I guess.
Yeah, it's actually a good point, and you're working way too hard. That I can tell by following your social media feed at Amber Mac. Amber, any advice you would give to people who are going to download this when it comes out officially into Canada?
Yeah, I would say just stay safe. I think it's really fun for families, for people to get together. This is something you want to do with friends in a group, and just stay safe and don't be stupid, if I can say that on your show. I think I can pretty much say anything, and that's probably fair game.
I'm telling you, dude, this is going to lead to something bad. Like, this is going to lead to like a shooting or something. There's going to be some crazy people going to a park, not leaving. It's going to be a private area. They're going to be looking for a Pokemon character. Police are going to become involved, and they're going to be so set on them grabbing that Pokemon. What, Jay?
It's already happening.
It's not about. Listen. It's a good thing because for years people have been saying, kids, back then when we were kids we would go outside and play. Now all these kids do is stay indoors, right? And now kids are going. They have a reason to go outside. They can go out and meet other people meet other kids and play these games outdoors because it forces you to exercise and to walk or to drive and get outside and play this stuff outside. You can't play it in your house.
And then when you capture it, it goes in your phone now and it stays with you?
Yeah. And then you got Mewtwo or Shinglygents. I don't know all their names. That last one I just made up. But you got all these different characters with
and then you train them and stuff? I don't get that.
But you have to go to a gym, which is a location in your in your area, physically go there to play that game. So when you're there, you can meet people.
Can you train at, is it an actual gym with weights and stuff?
For your Jigglyjants and your Jigglypuffs or whatever.
And so you just watch these characters work out, Amber?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Sorry, I can't stop laughing because I'm just imagining how much fun it would be to take you out and play this game.
You know what? It might be a great video. To be honest, watch. I'll be an addict and quit the radio program.
I can't even. I think so you don't go to a real gym. These are just kind of locations that you go to, and it's more virtual than that in many ways. But listen, you know what? I think a lot of people maybe don't get it, but obviously it's such a huge trend right now, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger. I'm in Halifax right now, as I mentioned, and there's a Pokemon meetup down on the waterfront tonight. So, hey, this is something that isn't going away. And you know what? I'm with Jay. If people get together and they actually do stuff instead of sitting at home and just watching Netflix, it's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, listen, it is. I guess I shouldn't be so cynical towards it. It is a good thing if it's getting people to be active. I guess I just fear about the invasion of privacy and what this actually leads to. And just people, I always think of the Matrix. I always feel like the world is headed to the Matrix, where eventually we're never going to have our own reality. We're kind of living in the brain of an actual other reality that's happening. And I feel like this is taking it one step closer to that.
Hey, I'm there with you. I'm half terrified and half super excited. So I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. But it's kind of a scary world. But it's interesting. It's an interesting time to be alive.
And one last question. I heard that they got as many users as Twitter's had over all this time that Twitter's existed. Is that true?
I believe that's true. I've seen that headline, but I've also seen a headline saying that they've just about or already surpassed Tinder users, for example.
Wow.
So it's just massive. I mean, their share price is exploding. There are so many stories about how everybody's just talking about Pokemon Go, and it's kind of a fun thing. Sure, there are going to be issues, but compared to how many people are playing with, those issues are minimal. We have those issues with every type of trend that exists today, and every phenomenon as far as getting mass amount of people out there.
Who is the parent company? Like, what is the stock symbol? Do you know?
Nintendo.
It's Nintendo.
So Nintendo is a joint partner. There's an app development company that partnered up with them to make it. And so even though they didn't make it directly, obviously they're still reaping the benefits of the share price has been rising over the past couple of days.
Wow. Do you invest in tech companies?
No, that would be a huge conflict of interest, but no, I don't. And you know what? It's probably partly because I'm skeptical in the sense that, you know what, they all go up and they all kind of come crashing down because technology is changing so quickly these days that, you just don't know what's around the corner. Listen, I would never have been able to predict this. Here's a perfect example.
Okay, that sort of was going to be my next question. Did anyone really predict this?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone could have expected that it would have been as popular as it is. And I think, there's a lot of people right now who are making augmented reality apps who are hoping that their game will be the next big thing.
Yeah, and I would imagine like even now Facebook and these other, like they're trying to figure out how to create this within their own platforms, I would imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Facebook has gone pretty far with virtual reality. So, apparently the real world isn't enough for us, Todd. We have to move on.
And it's not even the real world because everyone knows they don't post anything that really happened in their life. They post to 1% of good things, not to 99% of bad ones. Amber, thank you so much for your time. You're just great at what you do. Good luck with your speech in Halifax tonight. And tell us about your little meeting at the Pokemon waterfront gathering later.
I will for sure, and I'll see you and Jay soon, hopefully.
Yeah, please come in studio soon. Amber Mack, everyone go to @AmberMack. She's brilliant and wonderful what she does. Okay, so I guess moving forward, we have an individual. Have we even done the intros yet of the program?
We've not.
Why didn't you tell Amber the real story that happened with you?
I don't want to tell that to tech expert Amber Mack.
Come on, Jay Brody has a real story to tell.
All right.
It wasn't just Pokemon, it was Pokemon.
I put the Pokey in the Pokemon yesterday. I'll tell you that right now. Myself and a lady friend, we downloaded illegally the Pokemon apps on our phone, right? And then we go outside walking, looking for Pokemon. Like 25 minutes later, we're like, where are we? Because your face is buried in the phone the whole time. You're looking for these little Jigglychants and Snarkligards or like weird names on these things. Anyways, one of the Poke gyms you have to go to, most of them are.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean a Poke gym? I still don't get it.
So you look.
Is there nothing there? Like, are you looking at a blank? Like, does it give you a fake building?
So you're at a map. Like you see a real map of your area.
Yeah.
Okay, and it shows a little avatar where Todd is.
Okay.
So Todd's walking down the street, and as you're walking down, there's a little blinkly blank on your app. And that you have to go to that location to either get Pokeballs.
Do you go in the door?
No, you don't go in the door. You're outside, right?
You're outside.
And then you can collect Pokeballs, which is what you use to collect the Pokemons or the Pokemons or whatever. And then you go to the gyms to train them. But these are real locations in your area.
Do you watch them like do push-ups and things? I don't know what that means. Like I don't get. Like I need to see this happen.
So like you battle them and fight them, and then like. They train like martial artists train through fighting.
Are they mean people, these Pokemon? Do they want to hurt people?
They're kind of cute.
Yeah.
They say their own name when they attack, So
crazy.
And so we went for this walk, and then we found some Pokemons or whatever, and then we went back and got in the car and then drove around, and we went to a Pokemon gym, and it was at a church. And the church is this big church in my neighborhood. Nobody was there. It was late at night. We're doing some Pokemon gym stuff, and then we banged in my car right after. It was just so, it was great. It was all that like catching Pokemon excitement.
Dude, you are the coolest Pokemon player on the planet right now.
Yeah, I got my Jigglypuff on last night.
Is that a character?
Yeah, it's definitely a character. He even looks a little bit like like he sounds. If you saw what Jigglypuff looked like, you'd be like, oh, that looks familiar, but with eyes.
I just don't get this world, man. I get that you used it to go and bang in a church parking lot. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, you could do a lot of that playing this game. It is fantastic. Other than the sex, though, I think it's a good thing. It really will get people outside and having sex.
It's going to lead to something really bad
But
in the next week. My prediction, someone is going to die from playing this game in the next week.
I almost died 3 times yesterday driving and playing Pokemon. You're 100% correct.